Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a morning drop-off is controversial after a school officer steps in, while a local family is now demanding answers. A Victoria resident says a neglected lot next to his mother's home has become more than just an eyesore, and now his family's safety is on the line. And a new federal law aims to crack down on online exploitation, what it could mean for tech platforms and privacy.
We had another warm and humid day with a lot of cloud cover. So far, so good for us. Chances of rain pretty slim, but the big stuff was this evening, right along the North Texas border, all the way into Oklahoma, where they had tornadoes and big hail. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up after this.
And another big signing day at Victoria East High School. See where soccer player Lakyla Neva is taking her talents to on the college level, coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Shauna Curry has the night off. Authorities confirmed the arrest tonight of a fourth fugitive who escaped from the Orleans Parish Correctional Facility last week. 21-year-old Gary Price was taken into custody today in New Orleans. Officials say he will be moved to a secure state facility outside the area and is facing new charges for escape and drug possession. Price was originally jailed on attempted first-degree murder, domestic abuse, and aggravated assault charges. More than 200 officers are still searching for the 6 inmates who remain on the run. The father of a 14-year-old at Cade Middle School says a school resource officer went too far. That special needs teen claims he was slammed to the ground in front of his father at Cade Middle School last Wednesday morning. The school resource officer says he saw the teen assault his father, so he jumped in to help. The father says the officer yanked his son from the vehicle and placed him in handcuffs. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley has more.
Until after you started yelling at me for no
He doesn't have the right to put me in these.
I don't need to talk to you. I'm waiting on a supervisor. No.
He doesn't have the right to put me in these.
Okay.
In this almost 4-minute video taken by a witness, we see a 14-year-old 8th grader at Cade Middle School on the ground, handcuffed and on his knees. Throughout the video, the special needs boy is yelling, "He doesn't have the right to put me in these," a phrase he repeats 22 times. 3 deputies are near the student, and at one point, 2 deputies walk the student over to a bench to sit down. The student is seen sending one kick toward the deputy. Early on, 5 adults are standing by watching the incident. 2 eventually re-enter the school. Jay is the teen's father. He say he requested a school resource officer but didn't expect for things to get out of hand. He says his son was simply tapping him, begging him not to make him go to school. The school resource officer viewed that as an assault and yanked the boy out of the car.
I couldn't believe he done it. I honestly couldn't believe it because he is here to protect and serve, not violate.
Jay says his son is traumatized from that day and was scared to go back to school. That day, the teen was eventually released and he went to class.
I felt like here I am trying to protect my son and help him, and yet I have an armed person who's supposed to help protect us, violating him and assaulting him, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Jay's son is currently seeking counseling. He says his son feels hurt and confused about what happened. A spokesperson with the Victoria County Sheriff's Office says the teen ignored verbal commands, and after a review of the incident, administrators determined no policies were violated. Ray Mosley, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
The Victoria County Sheriff's Office says a formal complaint has not been filed. We reached out to the Victoria ISD and they had no comment. 3 people are recovering after a crash shut down on Highway 72 in DeWitt County for hours. It happened Friday morning just before 8 o'clock near Old San Antonio Road. Investigators say the driver of a silver Dodge Ram 2500 stopped to turn into a private drive when her vehicle was hit from behind by a Dodge Ram 3500 and pushed into oncoming traffic, hitting a Toyota Prius head-on. The driver of the Ram 2500, 43-year-old Vanessa Key, Brubaker from Cuero was taken to Citizens Medical Center where she was treated and released. The driver of the Prius, 45-year-old Juan Tiarina from San Antonio, was flown to Brooke Army Medical Center. He's in serious but stable condition as of today. The driver of the Ram 3500, 65-year-old Robert Gibbs from Cuero, was also flown to Brooke Army Medical Center and is recovering in the hospital. A Victoria resident says an overgrown property next to his mother's home is putting his family in danger. Roosevelt Williams' grandmother is 90 years old and also lives in the home in the 1400 block of Bottom Road. Williams said the property is a breeding ground for snakes, rats, mice, and flying insects like bees and hornets. He says the overgrown brush is so bad it's almost overtaken a mobile home his family once occupied. It's now unlivable.
Get the trees off the house, man. The house is already tore up. You don't, I ain't gonna say nothing. I mean, it's tore up, it's too late. I'm not asking you to fix it. I'm just saying clean your property up. Get your trees off the fence and off the house. At least maybe in the wintertime I could tear it down and get rid of it. But as the way it is right now, I'm not going in there.
Victoria County Appraisal District records show the overgrown property is owned by Victoria County. Victoria County Commissioner Danny Garcia said after the flood of 1998, the General Land Office took those properties and deeded them to the county. The county is working to identify all of the properties taken over through the buyout so it can get them cleaned up through a contract. The county would then begin maintaining the properties. The Victoria College Board of Trustees approved several tech purchases at today's meeting. The new technology is for the incoming Student Success Center. VC representatives say the building is making major progress and they're hoping to enhance the resources available for students. They're looking to buy over 300 new computers and increase security in the building. They want to move quickly to lock in their current prices before potential price changes due to tariffs.
The building construction is just making great pace, and we're on time and on budget. The stars are aligning. We want to make sure that we're able to celebrate and launch the Student Success Center in conjunction with our 100th anniversary.
The management company overseeing the project claims the current price is about $100,000 under budget. VC is looking to complete the Student Success Center in December of this year. Time to check on our weather. Let's go to Mac Pettis with the first look at the forecast. And Mac, it reminds me of that decade that had a lot of great music, the 90s?
No, the temperature is the 90s. The great decade was the 60s. There you go.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the 60s. We won't be seeing the 60s for quite some time, folks. Of course, today the overcast was in, so it knocked the temperature down a bit. But tonight the big concern is way up here. Now, there's Dallas, you see right there. Violent thunderstorms rolling right along Sherman, through Ardmore, Oklahoma, and all the way east. They're really having trouble. We'll talk about that and take a look at your 7-day coming up in a moment. Don?
Mac, thank you. The Trump administration's first self-deportation flight took off from Houston Monday. The Department of Homeland Security said the 64 people who volunteered received $1,000 and a chance to return to the U.S. legally. Honduran migrants voluntarily returned to their home country using the CBP Home app as part of a Trump administration program encouraging self-deportation of undocumented immigrants. The charter flight carried 38 people to Honduras and 26 to Colombia. Improved response to a mass shooting is the goal of the Uvalde Strong bill approved by the Texas legislature. Uvalde's former mayor, Don McLaughlin, now in the legislature, wrote the bill so that law enforcement agencies would have better coordination and leadership as they respond to a mass shooting. The Texas Senate gave unanimous approval on Monday to the bill that would improve how law enforcement responds to mass shootings. The bill would mandate law enforcement agencies across the state to create crisis response policies. A Texas Senate panel approves an $8 billion school funding plan as it seeks middle ground with the House. The proposal would heavily invest in teacher pay and special education. It includes a modest $55 increase to schools' base per student funding, much lower than what the House had sought. Under both the House and Senate proposals, only traditional public schools would be required to keep educators without formal training from teaching core subjects. The Texas legislature is moving to ban minors from social media in what would be the strictest law of its kind in the nation. Under House Bill 186, minors would be blocked from creating accounts on apps like TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook. Parents would also have to give consent to download any app and could request their child's account be deleted. The bill also requires age verification and warning labels about mental health risks. And this brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Do you think social media poses a major mental health risk to minors? The choices are yes, no, and not sure. And 93% of our voters took that first choice. They said yes, social media poses a significant mental health risk to minors. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we thank you for voting. Victims of explicit deep fakes are now protected by federal law. President Trump signed an act that will allow victims to take legal action against people who share non-consensual, explicit deep fake images online.
President Donald Trump, alongside the First Lady, signed the Take It Down Act today. The federal law will criminalize the sharing of non-consensual, explicit deep fakes, images in which a person's face is superimposed on a nude body using artificial intelligence without their permission. The president says anyone convicted of intentionally distributing explicit images without the subject's consent will face time in prison.
We will not tolerate online sexual exploitation, and especially it's gone on at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's getting worse and worse, and I think this is going to hopefully stop it.
First Lady Melania Trump said the law was a powerful first step in protecting America's youth.
As First Lady, my Be Best initiative is focused on improving children's well-being, encouraging kindness, and creating a safer online environment for our youth. Today, I'm proud to say that the values of Be Best will be reflected in the law of the land.
The law will also require tech platforms to take an active role in combating the issue, requiring them to remove such images within 48 hours of being notified about them.
The Take It Down Act will protect victims of digital exploitation, hold internet platforms accountable by requiring them to remove such imagery from their platforms.
The act received bipartisan support in Congress.
The yeas are 409, the nays are 2.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Previously, federal law prohibited creating or sharing realistic AI-generated explicit images of children, but laws protecting adult victims varied by state and did not exist nationwide. Oil and gas companies are seeking legal shelter as Texas comes closer to using waste brine, once considered too toxic for anything other than fracking, to replenish Texas water shortages. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. Caps are flying and futures are calling. We're giving a big shout out to the class of 2025 as they gear up for their big day. Congratulations to Caitlin Nicole Huerta. The message says, congratulations on all your accomplishments, Kay. Never stop shooting for the stars. Love, Dad, Louisa, Sissy, and Bubba. Congratulations to Chris Eric Hernandez. The message says your family is so proud of you. Love from Mom, Dad, Ava, Dylan, and Cameron. Congratulations to James Potts. The message says, James, your whole family is so proud of you, from reading to writing Braille to your wonderful social butterfly personality. We adore you. We are blessed to call you ours. Love from Mom, Dad, and family. Submit a photo and heartfelt message for your grad through June 13th. We'll feature our area grads on air and on social media. Go to our contest page at crossroadstoday.com. Click the Entertainment tab, then select Contest to submit and show your pride. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Major funding for Harvard is on hold. How it could impact care for veterans. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. Also ahead, more deadly diseases could soon be eliminated. The new push from health leaders and what it means for families. This morning, an outpouring of support for former President Biden, who is diagnosed with prostate cancer. A spokesperson says Biden is now reviewing treatment options after learning the cancer has metastasized to the bone.
This morning, reaction pouring in for former President Biden after he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. A spokesperson for the 82-year-old says the diagnosis comes after a small nodule was found in the former president's prostate. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer characterized by a Gleason score of 9.
A Gleason 9 prostate cancer is more aggressive, which means that it can grow more quickly and can be more likely to spread.
Mr. Biden's spokesperson says while this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. And this morning, an outpouring of support from across the globe. President Trump posting on social media, quote, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family." Former President Obama praised former President Joe Biden's work on supporting research for cancer treatment, saying, quote, "Nobody has done more to find breakthrough treatments for cancer in all its forms than Joe, and I'm certain he will fight this challenge with his trademark resolve and grace." And former British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak sharing on social media saying, quote, "Too many men are struck by this disease. We must continue to raise awareness of the danger it poses. Wishing Joe all the best for his treatment." President Biden launched his cancer moonshot in 2022 after his son Beau died from brain cancer 10 years ago this month. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer and the second leading cause of cancer death among men in the U.S., according to the National Institutes of Health.
Which means that there is an opportunity for an additional form of treatment which can improve his outcome.
Biden has mostly stayed out of public view since leaving office in January, but he did appear on The View earlier this month. Former President Biden posted on social media this morning thanking everyone for the love and support, saying, quote, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we are strongest in the broken places." Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Harvard University is facing pressure from the Trump administration. The federal government froze over $2 billion in grants over several grievances. Now, joint projects between Harvard and federal agencies could be cut, including one with the VA that helps assess suicide risk in veterans. The program helps doctors decide if suicidal veterans in emergency rooms should be hospitalized or sent home. Internal VA emails show it's on a list of programs that could be canceled. Countries around the world are wiping out diseases. The World Health Organization reports 44 have been eliminated in just the last 5 years.
Many diseases that once thrived in poor communities are no longer a public health threat. The World Health Organization says 50 countries have at least one tropical disease under control. 45 have eliminated malaria using bed nets, insect sprays, and vaccines. Smallpox is the only disease humans have fully wiped out, and the WHO adds polio could be next, but it won't happen without a big push for vaccines. Experts believe 32 more diseases could be eliminated in the next 10 years, but it will take some effort. For example, some diseases pass from mothers to babies during pregnancy or birth, like HIV, hepatitis B, and syphilis, and many countries are working to stop this. The WHO says the fight against disease will require strong leadership and support from communities, schools, and health organizations. With this Medical Minute, I'm Christiane Cordero, ABC News.
And good evening, everybody. We are currently looking at some rather warm weather for the overnight time period, so there's no more cooling. In fact, we're probably only going to get down to about 78 tonight as a low temperature. This afternoon, we managed to get up to 89. That's because the cloud cover sort of helped us out with the high temperature. It's actually fairly close to where we're supposed to be, 88. Can you believe it? We've been as hot as 97. Oh, by the way, that's the forecast for tomorrow, 97. We'll have a look at your 7-day coming up after this. Well, it was tough getting out there over the weekend and certainly again today, but some of you have to be outdoors, so you need to shift over into a summertime pattern because it's going to be like this for quite some time. In fact, 3 or 4 months, all right? Today we had the cloud cover that sort of hung tough all day long. Pressure is on top of it, so basically the cloud stays right here while the pressure is so low, so heavy. North Texas, pressure is lighter, and therefore that cloud moisture actually turned into some stormy weather. We didn't have anything here, but look at this. Whoa, huge line of storms rolling. Well, it all began up there in Sherman and Abilene, then rolled across the North Texas area. So there's, let's see, where is Dallas? I can't even find Dallas. Oh, there's Paris. Oh, there's Dallas is over here. You can see how the monster storms now rolling through. The heaviest stuff right now at this moment, right there crossing the Red River. And of course, this is just the beginning because they've had this problem all night. Already about 8 tornadoes have been reported since it's about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So you can imagine. The humid air, of course, is on this side of the state. And the very dry air, exceedingly dry air with 17% humidity is on the west side. So right here is the perfect environment. These two air masses are different enough to where they don't blend easily. They kind of oppose each other, and that's why we get the lift right here, and all those big storms did form. Humid air will continue giving us the morning overcast and then a few breaks in the clouds in the afternoon hours. Now, because of the stormy weather now rolling east, this is what's going to happen tomorrow. So generally it's out there over Tennessee, but look at that little possibility of getting 1 or 2 stray showers possible in our area. And the reason for that is a little dry line that's actually moving down into our area. Let me show it to you. There's our southerly wind. There's that little dry line I was telling you about. That's going to be drifting down, and maybe, you know, 1 or 2 isolated showers would be great if we catch something, but chances are pretty slim right now. But, you know, pray for the folks right here in the Central Plains. It's that time of year. Severe storm weather is springtime as far as they know. And then by the time we get to June and July, well, it's tropical storm season. Tonight, we're not looking for a lot of cooling, only getting down to about 77, 79 in Houston. That's the coolest that it's going to get. And tomorrow, yes, in the 90s for sure. 97 for us, 97 in Cuero, 100 out in the Pleasanton area, and all western areas are going to be much warmer than that. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. First, the day planner for Port Lavaca. We're looking cloudy early, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. High temperature getting up to about 90. And then in Cuero, well, the inland areas are going to be warmer, but you can see how the wind does sort of shift around with that little dry line we talked about. However, you'll see mostly cloudy skies and then sunny in the afternoon. 7-day forecast, well, it's a hot one tomorrow because we're going to pick up a little bit of a southwest wind. But when that dry line comes in, then we may actually knock the temperature down a bit. But as we get to Friday and Saturday, it comes back with an isolated shower chance possible as we get to the weekend. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. So right now it's what? Graduation time and signing time as well, right, Ray?
That's right, Mac. We're taking you to Victoria East High School after senior soccer player Kyla Neva signed her letter of intent. Hear what she has to say along with Coach Mitzi and more coming up in sports. Today, Victoria East High School senior Kayla Neva made the decision to sign with Concordia University in Austin, Texas. We caught up with Neva and head coach Mitzi to receive a word on the big day.
I think it's going to be a good journey, especially because I know someone that's going to the same college as me. And I think it'll make the experience a little bit less nerve-wracking and make it more fun.
So anytime we see any of our kids move on to the next level, that means better education for them in the future. And if we can do that through athletics, I think that's one of the most amazing things. So watching our kids blossom and grow and become the young ladies that they are, and then going off and, spreading not only their talent athletically, but also academically. And we're just putting those little seeds from Victoria East out there all around the state.
All right, thank you. And the Tidehaven Tigers had their all-district awards come out this past week, and after finishing the season as a top 2 team in their district, you can expect some names to receive some recognitions for the Tigers. They had several athletes receive first and second team honors. Richie Garza, Jitwan Duran, Ashton Claber, TJ Galvin, and Bryce Silver all made first team. Camden Johnson, Boogie Galvin, Travis Rideau, and Kale Russell are your second team all-district. Hayden McCarver was honorable mention. Richie Garza, Kel Russell, TJ Galvin, Boogie Galvin, Bryce Silva, and Ashton Claber were all academic all-districts as well. Big congratulations to them. And the Shiner Lady Comanches will have a midweek state semifinal matchup against Crossroads High School from Malakoff. Game 1 will be at Lake Belton High School on Wednesday, with the game beginning at 6 p.m. Game 2 will follow on Thursday back at Lake Belton High School at 6 p.m. Game 3 will be on Saturday if necessary. And the Shiner Comanches is the only team to remain from the Crossroads in the postseason for baseball. And they will have their regional final matchup against Burton. Game 1 will be on Thursday at Bastrop High School at 5 p.m. Game 2 will follow 30 minutes after Game 1. And Game 3, if necessary, will be on Saturday back at Bastrop High School. And a look into some national sports in regards to baseball, the Texas Longhorns have been dominating in the SEC, ranking as the #1 team in the conference play, and the proof is in their players. The Longhorns have had 2 of their players be selected for the first team All-SEC, in Dylan Valantis and Galvin Ryland. The Longhorns will await their quarterfinal opponent with a double bye on May 22nd. It could be Tennessee, Alabama, or Missouri. And the Houston Astros just opened up their series against the Tampa Bay Rays. And no, I know what you're thinking. That's not one of my teams. The Houston Astros were successful in winning the game. Final score 4-3. The Astros started off hot, having 3 of their 4 runs in the second inning. Victor Cartani and Jake Myers both having a home run. Jake Myers having the go-ahead. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 6:05 back at Tampa Bay Training in New York. But that does it for your sports. Don?
All right, thank you, Ray, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, you're never too old to play hoops. Think again. Meet the grannies breaking the mold on the court.
Stay up tonight. I made enchiladas.
Oh my goodness. This also looks old, like it hasn't been used in a long time.
I used it this morning.
In North Texas, a match made in dessert heaven caught the attention of Dairy Queen. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Blizzard. Yes, that's their real last name. And when DQ found out about their upcoming nuptials, the company stepped in to help make their engagement and wedding even sweeter. They got a dreamy photo shoot at a DQ in Dallas and custom merchandise for their bachelor and bachelorette parties. Then DQ served up blizzards instead of a traditional wedding cake at the couple's reception. Now that is what you call a sweet love story.
Yeah.
You're never too old to have game. Take a look at these grannies. They are members of the Granny Basketball League in the Houston area.
See that?
The minimum age to play is 50 years old. Unlike regular basketball, Granny Basketball has no running and no jumping. You can dribble twice, then you have to pass or shoot. The uniforms, as you can see, are different too. They are based on ladies' basketball uniforms from the 1920s. I wonder how many of those people have watched, people like Caitlin Clark or those people who are now playing, probably weren't, I'll bet you their mothers weren't even born when those people started playing basketball. Did you know that the same place where they invented basketball is where they invented volleyball?
Really?
No.
At a YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Springfield.
And I bet it's cold up there, but not here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we can sort of give up on cool weather, folks. It's going to be summer for quite some time. On the humid side tomorrow, we're getting up to about 97 because of a dry west wind coming in. That is going to help knock the temperature down slightly on Wednesday. But by and large, it gets windy, humid, and warm all the way through the weekend. 20% as we get to the weekend. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that we can catch a light shower or two as we get to the weekend. Don?
We'll take it. Thank you, Mac.
Right.
I mentioned Springfield, Massachusetts. I didn't see the script. On Saturday, crowds gathered in Springfield, Massachusetts for a delicious start to the weekend. The event was billed as the world's largest pancake breakfast. A little misty weather was not enough to dampen the spirits of hungry residents who turned out. The breakfast was put on by the nonprofit group Spirit of Springfield. The group's website says the annual event is all about bringing the community together to celebrate the city's May 14th, 1636 founding. I think that was before the invention of pancakes, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, thanks so much for joining us. 25 News Sunrise, 5 a.m. and Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.